Welcome to the show. We're today going to talk about, I guess, one of life's biggest experiences, and that would have to be childbirth. And I'm so happy to be focusing on Waco Family Medicine. I have not done a show lately on Waco Family Medicine, but there you will find not only highly skilled physicians, but a team of midwives as well to help with the whole childbirth experience. Joining me now are Dr. Alex Jones Adesina, who is the physician leader. Is that correct?
Close. So
Close.
I'm the chief impact officer.
Oh.
And so I still see patients as a family physician about 50% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spend the other 50% of the time working on programs that help to support parents and families as they bring children into the world, but also just as they need additional support outside of the exam room. So it's a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Oh man, that is exciting. So much I want to hear from you about that. But Audrey Patterson is with us as well, who is a midwife, and together you're going to help us understand how Waco Family Medicine is offering these different opportunities for the childbirth experience. So wonderful. First of all, if you would, we'll start with Dr. Adesina. How did you get to Waco Family Medicine? And just tell me a little bit about your journey.
Sure. So I grew up here in Waco and moved back to Waco in 2019 right before the pandemic, really, after having done my medical school training, my family medicine residency training, and was just really looking forward to being back home closer to family. I was excited. I spent the first few years at Providence and then made my way to Waco Family Medicine because I just really felt like there was a care and intentionality around supporting families in all walks of life, but especially those who have not historically been well served by the healthcare system. Mm-hmm. And so when I came over, I knew that my path to becoming a doctor really had always focused on those types of populations. And so was really eager to think about how I could put all of my training, both as a physician and as having had a public health background to good use. And so from the very beginning, I've been working on projects, and it's just become a little bit more formalized over the last couple of years in terms of how I spend time really focusing on those non-clinical aspects of providing care for our patients and our community.
Mm-hmm. Audrey, what about yourself?
So I've been a nurse since 2010, so that makes 15 years now that I've been a nurse, which is kind of, surprising when I think about that time. I started as a med-surg nurse, and so I took care of patients that were coming into the hospital for various sorts of illnesses, and decided that I was ready for a change after about a year of doing that work and found my way to labor and delivery. I worked as a labor and delivery nurse for about 5 years, and then decided that the next step in my career was going to be advanced practice. And so I enrolled in a midwifery program that's a master's degree program focused on providing women's health care and full scope midwifery care, meaning that, the type of patients that I see as a midwife ranges from adolescents starting their first period all the way through menopause. So, of course, most of the work that I do does center around pregnancy and birth.
But not strictly.
Yes, exactly.
I did not know that. I think that's neat.
So that's kind of, I think, the best part of being a midwife is kind of getting to be a part of all of it. So I have been a midwife for 7 years now.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Of course, Waco Family Medicine has been serving the community for decades. What does that whole thing, and you touched on it a little bit, what does that all mean to you and what Waco Family Medicine is doing for the community?
Yeah. So when I think about Waco Family Medicine, and our mission statement is to care and to serve, to provide top access to primary care for patients who have been historically underserved in our county and beyond Waco, really, at this point. For me, what it means is to recognize that taking care of them well is not just about what is the doctor-patient or the midwife-patient relationship like. It's about really thinking through what are the other access gaps that our patients are facing and how can we partner and support them to be as healthy as possible, really focusing on wellness. So I think that's where I've really been excited to sort of think kind of big picture, expanding our partnerships, really in a series of different ways to help us to really help care for them in the best way that we can.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Audrey?
I think Waco Family Medicine has a great finger on the pulse of holistic care, ranging from medical treatment and care to behavioral health services and mental health care, making sure that they have access to other things that drive their health that have nothing really to do with medicine exactly. Their access to healthy food and, making
it's
sure
a
that
lot of things,
obviously impact their health in a dramatic
Sure.
way, but maybe don't come in a pill bottle. So I think that that's unique to what they provide here to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Dr. Adesina, Waco Family Medicine is known for offering a team-based approach to, now in this particular case, maternity care. So how do the physicians and the midwives collaborate?
Oh, great point. Great question. So it's a little bit of a changing landscape. I think where my head starts is like just sort of understanding what's the state of the union, if you will. And it's important to note that like across the US, kind of nationally, we know that for every 100,000 births, live births, 50 women will die. And in Texas, the numbers have been higher at times. The data lags, of course, but I think it's important for us to just start with understanding that because it kind of creates the picture. Audrey's really hit on some of the things that impact that. Sometimes it is high clinical risk, meaning they've got other medical problems that make their pregnancies high risk. But often those numbers have often also said 80 to 90% of the things that cause death and pregnancy are avoidable. And so that means that it's poor access to food. It could be poor access to healthcare, not having access to the right providers because you live in a small rural area. It could be that you don't have access to the medications that you need. It could be that there wasn't appropriate insurance access. So all of those things create a system that makes it easier than what we think is ideal for somebody to have a bad outcome in pregnancy. And so when we think about what that team-based services looks like, it's less about do we have all the right clinicians at the table, is it doctors and midwives, but also about do we have the right behavioral health specialists? Do we have a team of people who can support kind of across our system when we recognize that food insecurity is something that our patients are experiencing? And so, of course, there's collaboration from a clinical perspective in terms of are we practicing clinical guidelines and do we know who's on deck when a patient has a different complication. But I think it's about kind of expanding our understanding of what does it take to have really comprehensive prenatal care. And so, Audrey and her team just do a great job of really expanding what it looks like to provide care for patients when things are normal and low risk. And then as the care gets more complicated because there are more behavioral health needs or there are more medical needs, we work with our physician teams, our OB-GYNs and our family physicians to make sure that we're providing good clinical care. But across that spectrum, we're checking in with moms to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to support them and have the healthiest pregnancy possible.
With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
If your home's feeling a bit dated or you're dreaming of that beautiful outdoor oasis, I have got the team for you. Gather & Co., the family-owned remodeling pros right here in Greater Waco since 1998. Led by the Falconberry family, they specialize in stunning kitchen and bathroom makeovers. Think custom walk-in showers, sleek cabinetry, and aging-in-place upgrades for easy living. They also nail outdoor spaces with pergolas, patio covers, sunrooms, and screen rooms that turn your backyard into a year-round retreat. What sets them apart? Personalized designs, top-notch craftsmanship, and a hassle-free process for free in-home consultations to spot-on completion, plus financing options to make it simple. Customers love them, raving about the friendly crew and attention to every detail. Ready to gather in your dream home? Call Gather & Co. today, 254-759-1147 for a no-obligation quote. Visit GatherCoRemodeling.com. Your remodel starts here. Audrey, how much time do you spend with a given patient? I mean, aside from when they come into the clinic, how do you give that support?
So in the clinic setting, we're spending, on paper about the same amount of time with a patient. Their visits are still scheduled,
Right.
in usually 15 or 30-minute increments, although sometimes we do spend more time with patients, especially if they have a lot of questions. Our space is set up for that. We have 2 rooms that kind of are outfitted like this with couches instead of exam tables, where we can still do, like a prenatal visit where we're like, yeah, just kick up your feet and we'll measure your belly and we'll listen to,
less
baby's
intimidating.
heartbeat. And it makes for a better conversation when we're kind of just sitting, eye to eye, in a more comfortable space. So, but in the hospital setting, when we are on call and seeing women in labor and attending their delivery, that is very situational and based on what the patient needs. And so I may be, jumping from room to room and seeing, a few different patients during the day, or I may be able to get to focus on just one patient at a time. So that will depend on the demands of the day, I guess. But I would say that midwives do maybe tend to provide a lot of hands-on support when needed, compared to maybe other OB providers, just because of our, I think maybe because of the history of midwifery care and, the way that we are truly with women, as the term suggests. So there's probably that aspect. And then also coming from a nursing background, all of us being registered nurses, at least the certified nurse midwives that I practice with and myself.
How many are there?
So there are 3 other certified nurse midwives on my team, and there's 2 additional certified nurse midwives that work at one of our other women's health clinics and serve at Hillcrest.
So are these births happening at your patient's home, or are they coming there? Or
Great question. So certified nurse midwives do attend home birth and birth center birth. However, our team is hospital based, and so we only see patients in the hospital setting and attend their births at the hospital.
Yeah, if something goes wrong.
Yeah, it's nice to have backup from an OB provider. And so all of our certified nurse midwives have a backup provider should things go unexpected. And so there's really close collaboration on both of those hospital teams with the OBs in case things don't go as planned, or in anticipation of things not going the way that we hope that they go. And so that line of collaboration and those teams have always worked really well together to sort of support when the midwives are able to provide the best care and to know when we need to phone a friend and do what we can.
Yeah. So from your perspective, the benefits of offering midwifery as well as traditional methods would be?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I should let Audrey answer the question.
Okay.
Audrey's being really humble. Should I tell her? Should I tell
No,
her?
sure, go ahead.
No. Well, she's a doctor of nurse practitioner. So she and just finished, and so she's done a lot of really interesting projects around how midwifery care is really shaping the future for how we can continue to provide high quality care in environments that are really focused on low procedures and just low interventions as they are appropriate. So I really want her to answer that question.
Okay, please.
So there is some literature that is speaking to the evidence for midwives and the type of care that allows for improved maternal outcomes. And so I won't get into all of that except to say that I think that midwives can be seen as maybe experts in normal, and not to just toot our own horn there, but just to say that when birth is normal and physiologic, it can just be supported. Mm-hmm. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone shouldn't get an epidural or everyone should do birth a certain way or any of that. But rather, I think that when we come from a lens of normal until proven otherwise, then we may be able to reduce unnecessary intervention or use the right tool when that tool is needed and be able to help to educate patients on why maybe an intervention might be especially useful to us in this, particular scenario that we find ourselves in.
So what are you referring to? Forceps or what?
So, yeah, I mean, that's a great example. Operative vaginal birth like forceps or vacuum assisted delivery, there is certainly a time and a place for that type of birth. Yeah. And then even something as simple as, breaking water in labor, assisting with that process as opposed to letting it happen naturally, or an induction of labor versus, just giving more time and allowing for labor to happen.
Good old pit drip.
Yeah.
Pitocin,
I think that really where the art of midwifery and just obstetrics in general really comes in is kind of understanding the nuance of when is that tool needed and when can we just support.
And knowing that patient too.
Yeah.
And hearing her heart and what her goal is for the birth experience too.
I think that personalized care, not just midwifery care or, prenatal care, but just healthcare in general. I think that the future is a personalized approach where we are individualizing the care that we're providing to patients based on their needs. That includes their individual preferences, what their history and their past experiences are bringing to the table, their preferences for how they want their pain managed, how they, might want us to address their support people, and, so many factors that maybe haven't been considered in healthcare in the past.
So much more I want to talk to you too about regarding the whole birth experience and how the Waco Family Medicine is filling that really important role in the community for these families. And we will do that. But first, we're going to go to a break and want to tell you today's show is brought to you by Gather & Co., where they are transforming houses into homes. Stay with us. There's more of the show ahead.
A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Tasmanian spring water range from Sand and Sky. This range is really good for dry and dehydrated skin like myself, packed with 2 types of hyaluronic acid, fermented sea kelp to reduce redness, and my skin feels so dewy and so hydrated.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com.
Launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. That's ulike.com. Ulike.
A big thank you to our sponsor, Fox & Co. Bakery. Check them out for delicious baked goods and your catering needs.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
At Mapiful, we believe in celebrating your journey. Our unique personalized products are designed to boost your confidence. From custom home decor to meaningful gifts, we help you cherish the memories that make you who you are. Visit Mapiful.com and start celebrating your story today.
And we are back talking about Waco Family Medicine and the Midwife program that is there. We've got Dr. Audrey Patterson. Forgive me for not. Thank you for pointing that out. She is a doctor, and Dr. Alex Adesina, who is MD. Mm-hmm. So what are your letters?
Yeah, I think this is a great time to kind of talk through that.
Yeah.
So I just finished my Doctor of Nursing practice degree through Frontier Nursing University. And so that is a practice-focused doctorate that is given to nurses who complete a course of study focused on largely systems in healthcare. And so I, maybe in an academic role, I might go by Dr. Audrey Patterson, but never to my patients would I introduce
Right.
myself that way.
Right.
And my perspective there is not that, I shouldn't call myself a doctor, but rather I find it to be a little bit confusing for patients. I want to make sure that the people that I see and care for understand that I'm their midwife. Yeah. And I don't want anyone to feel misled.
Well, and I love the fact that you also were a labor and delivery nurse.
Yes.
For several years.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, talk about really walking in those shoes. So, speaking of walking in those shoes, you have kiddos.
I have kiddos.
Right.
I do.
And
Audrey,
there's a connection here.
Yes. Audrey, I actually met Audrey first as my midwife when we were pregnant with our second child. And she delivered our third child, which was a dream come true. As you know, of course, you don't always get to guarantee. Nobody guarantees, like, is the midwife who has followed you through your prenatal care going to be able to be there at the time of the delivery? And we just got super lucky that all the stars aligned. And so we've had the privilege of, I actually knew her first as my provider and second as a colleague, which has just been really kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in the hospital?
I was. I mean, as a doctor myself, I was never under any desire to like deliver at home.
Have a swimming pool at the
No
house?
swimming pool in the house. No, none of that at home. You know, it's prettier on TV than it is in real life.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like that was all better done in a hospital. So yes, I was really excited. Just having the midwifery experience was always a dream come true for me. And I just believe in, just like Audrey was saying, just really trusting in normal labor until we know that it's not. And so, yeah.
So, have you speaking of swimming pool deliveries, have you ever, what are your thoughts on all that?
Oh, I mean, I think that there can be safe avenues for water birth and birth at home and birth outside the hospital setting. Certainly it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I feel like my home is in the hospital in a lot of ways. And so that's kind of how I grew up, so to speak, right? So like that is kind of my comfort area where I like to practice, where I feel best supported as a provider of healthcare. I like to have, my team in place. And so
where everything
that's why
is.
I like providing care, but that doesn't
Right.
mean that providing care elsewhere is not good or wrong. But yes, I practice in the hospital setting.
Yeah. And sometimes births just happen in the car. Or,
They sure
you
do.
know,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
on the way to the hospital.
In the elevator, in the hallway, by the water fountain outside.
Oh, my.
Birth is happening all around us. So,
Well, are you seeing a change in interest in Central Texas of women moving toward a midwife assisted birth?
I think so. I mean, I think the model of care, I think this is true across healthcare, is that there's just more interest in understanding, like, what are my options?
Mm-hmm.
I want to tailor things to my preference as much as is possible given what's most important to me. And to be able to do the research to understand what they think is best for them. And so as a family physician, I see that sort of across the board. If I tell somebody, you have diabetes, like here's what the numbers say, or it looks like your blood pressure has been consistently high.
Yeah.
It's not automatically, I would like a pill, or, it's a lot of, well, what are my options? Can I try, what do you think about this treatment plan?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot more conversation about what works with their lifestyle, what really sits in with their values, and how do we do a good job of kind of managing, and what are the guardrails that help us to know that, like, what we're trying is effective. And so it's different than I think it was generations ago, where the provider just said, this is how we treat it, and we go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Twilight sleep, we're going to give you.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think
do people still ask for that? Just put me to sleep and tell me when it's over.
very few.
Occasionally, but it's not
So.
it's not the most common. And I think that's why midwifery care has just been so important, because for patients who do really value low intervention, or just the ability to, build relationship and to have a conversation in a slightly really different perspective, I think it's been a really important way for us to begin to address those healthcare disparities in ways that I don't know that traditional healthcare was going to be able to solve all on its own.
Mm-hmm. The biggest difference then in giving birth under the care of a midwife as opposed to, your OBGYN,
Well, when I discuss this with patients, especially like at an early visit, maybe like their very first visit in our office, we confirm pregnancy, we kind of
make sure
we make sure that their baby looks healthy, and then we address kind of what can you expect from care here in our practice. And so we talk about how our team approach means that we share call, and there will always be a midwife on call for you, and on call to attend your birth, but it's going to be one of the four of us. And so, we're going to take turns seeing you through your pregnancy.
Yeah, so you're familiar with all of us.
Yeah, and, so that's one aspect. Another aspect is that we make sure patients understand, we are not physicians. We are not surgeons. If your pregnancy or your labor become complex or complicated in a medical way, then we may either consult with an OBGYN who is on call alongside us as our backup, or we may, depending on the context, we may ultimately refer them on to physician care if that becomes necessary. So we really try to make sure patients understand that very clearly at the beginning of their time with us. So they don't feel like, well, I thought I was seeing, an OB this whole time, or I thought these folks could do my C-section if I needed a C-section.
Oh my goodness.
We want to make sure patients feel very clear on that and very comfortable with the care they're receiving from us, and they understand how it works.
Yeah, right. But do you use monitors?
Yes. So we have a couple different options for monitoring in labor. And so some patients may either desire or really need some continuous monitoring of their baby during their labor process, and others may be able to safely opt out and have some intermittent monitoring. So every, half hour, for example, in active labor, we may be checking in on baby as opposed to like continuously watching that heart rate.
Biggest help to me, as I recall, was you could see the contraction coming on, and you could kind of get ready for it.
Yeah.
And my husband was watching. I said, "Okay, it's going down." I said, "Okay." When you hear it's going back down, you're all right. I think I can make it through this. So, do you have a favorite birth story to share?
Oh, goodness.
Aside from
Yeah,
Dr.
it doesn't
Adesina.
need- I'm
That's right.
sure it's not my birth story.
So, I mean, I don't know that you could pick a favorite birth story. It's like picking your favorite child. Like I could
Really?
never,
Right.
But I would say one of my most memorable was probably catching my my niece, especially this last niece that I caught. Yes. So my sister-in-law, I've attended two of her kiddos' births, and the last one came very fast. And I actually had missed their initial call when they were headed up to the hospital. And then I heard my phone ring on the second or third time they called me. So anyway, met them up at the hospital. And we were getting ready to get in the tub. We were filling up the tub in the labor room there at Providence, and we got halfway to the tub, and she said, "Oh, no, it's happening now." And so we tried to walk back towards the bed, and baby was not waiting. And so I literally just like reached down and just caught her, midair kind of catch, like standing straight up. And my brother-in-law even caught a picture. So
That's amazing.
that was very memorable.
Good
and it was
hands
super
there. That's
fun.
good.
And yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about a tub. Is that for?
Yeah, so we have a couple rooms on labor and delivery at Ascension Providence that have tubs. We use them for hydrotherapy, so pain management in labor. We don't currently have a policy that supports water birth right now at the hospital.
Okay, so they're not having the baby.
So yes, we were just getting in the tub just to kind of relax for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah,
that baby had
I
other
wish
plans.
they'd had that back 35 years ago.
yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
I personally used it in labor, and
Yes,
it's very, very nice.
I can
Yes.
also attest.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other changes that have happened over the years as far as helping women through that
exactly.
labor process
And I think
particularly?
that's where midwifery really opens up sort of the ways that we can help women through a very meaningful, and I mean, it's going to be memorable. It's a key life experience. And so to be able to have another way that we can manage something that has a lot of intense physical sensations,
Now
know.
that's a beautiful way to put it.
I mean, it's intense. And I think even when I talk to parents afterwards, like, it takes months and weeks, even when it goes perfectly, to sort of process through all that happened. Because in the moment it feels like it's forever, but it happens quickly. And it, so to have a lot of different ways to sort of help them through that and to experience the intensity, I think is just so important. So.
Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Golf Partner.
VivoSun's mission is to empower growers with stylish and effective products, making indoor growing accessible and enjoyable for everyone. Visit vivosun.com today and get started making growing plants and vegetables easy and automatic.
What's the main thing you want people to understand about the midwife program at Waco Family Medicine?
Oh, that's such a good question. I think that, going back to the personalization of care that can be provided through midwifery care, I think that that is the future of healthcare. As I said, I think that we have a word, and it's not necessarily speaking to the personalization alone, but there is a concept called shared decision making, which I feel very strongly about. It is kind of a hallmark of midwifery, although it's widely used by all different types of healthcare providers. Really helping a patient navigate the process of understanding what the next step in their care looks like based on what they feel like is feasible, what they feel like is preferable, what they feel like might help them the most based on what they know about their own body. And then we're bringing in kind of that expertise and that medical background and, saying like, these are options available to you. And here's what it might look like to try this medication or to try this intervention or this lifestyle change or whatever it may be. And then coming to a decision together, as a partner in their care, as opposed to, okay, I'm going to go ahead and like send you out this prescription, like take it or don't, but that's what I recommend to you. Have a nice day. So I think that being a partner with patients is, what we seek to do as midwives. We want to make sure that they have a good experience and that they're safe and they walk away feeling like they're empowered to parent. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have a ooey gooey beautiful vaginal birth. We may end up with a birth that has some intervention, a C-section perhaps, there may be some rocky roads there, but we want to make sure that through all of that, whatever the outcome specifically is medically, that they're supported through the process, they're educated through the process, they understand what's going on, and that their preferences are respected as much as we can.
To understand what's happening as you go through. Labor. So do you recommend courses and so forth ahead of time? Yeah.
Yes, I highly recommend and frequently advise my patients to seek out extra education. There is a program called Centering that actually kind of incorporates their prenatal care into like educational activities, and they do it as a shared group. I think like 6 to 10 patients will kind of walk that road together, their prenatal care, and receive education at the same time. And so that's a really cool program that's kind of integrating education. But apart from that, if it's, traditional one-on-one type of care, I highly recommend that patients do childbirth education, lactation, or breastfeeding education, and to do it in pieces. It's much more effective and I think makes for better long-term outcomes if they just don't try to dump a bunch of information in their brain in one sitting.
When I think about sort of the call to action that healthcare outcomes in the U.S. really bring to the table and just what we know about the state data and the local data, I think it's really about creating sort of a buffet of options that we kind of help our patients to understand what they would find most applicable and best for them. And so centering in midwifery, physician-provided prenatal care, some combination of all those things, plus all of the additional support in terms of behavioral health and food access, and all of those things just creates a full meal of options. If you're going to use that kind of buffet analogy, that really helps us to allow patients to choose for them what they think is best with guidance and support from all of the providers that we have. And so I think we have a program that's really well suited to kind of tackle all that we know that our patients are asking for and would benefit from. And so we have a keen ear to the ground about where else can we be serving our patients better, whether it be care management services, so that when we have a lot of dots to connect, there's a person whose job it is to come alongside them as a family and say, yep, we have a doctor's appointment today, or we're seeing the midwives, and then we have breastfeeding support appointment, and then we're going to get you food here, just to have all of those things really mapped out together. And I think that's really where we see patients walking through the pregnancy journey, feeling empowered in ways that are going to create the parents that they envision for themselves. So it's such a privilege to be a part of that journey for patients. And so I think we try really hard to honor the privilege that it is to be able to provide those services. So,
well, it's a joyful time of life, but it can be overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Too. So do you have a favorite piece of advice, particularly for a first-time mom? Because I remember just because you don't know what you're in for, and you read and you hear and you talk to people, which can sometimes be the worst thing. Or now you go to Dr. Google, and just find all kinds of. But and then the second baby's a little different because, been there and done that. So what do you tell your first-time moms?
I don't know that there's something that's different first time versus multiple others, because I think each pregnancy can be very different.
That is true.
But I think it's about creating your village, and whether that village is the people who provide care services in some way, shape, or form, or if it's just a village of people who are close to you, who know you well. But I think having that second or third person who can listen in for all the information and to grasp the things that can be hard to hear as the patient, or that just, we're feeling all the feels and we're not really set up to understand all that information all at one time. I think just having that core network that's really well built out, knowing that it's probably a combination of the two that really help us to have healthy pregnancies. But here's what you would say.
I don't know. I don't know that I have a go-to piece of advice for every patient. I think that maybe what I probably say the most often to patients is to trust their mama gut. I love it, and I say that a lot when I have patients that come in and they're like, this weird thing happened and I don't know what to make of it, but it freaked me out. And I went online and I'm even more freaked out now.
Right. That's what did I say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't want to tell them, well, don't get on the internet, don't Google, don't get on TikTok, because it's like that's just unrealistic. I mean, this is the resources we have available to us, right? So, and I don't want patients to feel like, that they don't have, agency. And anyway, I want to make sure patients feel like they are always welcome to educate themselves. Like, I encourage that, and then bring in information that feels maybe a little suspect, and we'll talk it through. But I think that trusting your gut, or trusting your mama gut, looks like, my baby hasn't really moved that much today. Something just kind of feels weird. I don't know what to make of it. Listen to your gut. If you feel like something is not quite right, I'd rather look into it and us be like, baby's fine. We're actually doing really good and we're moving like crazy now. I'm so glad you came in. As opposed to sweeping it under the rug. You have an appointment on Monday. I'll just see you Monday. I think that's just one example of maybe what I say the most is just trust your gut.
Yeah, that added anxiety is not going to help. If you're worried about it, or maybe you can determine ahead of time, well, the baby seems to be breech right now, so then that could, are there things to do to maybe try to make a change and turn the baby and stuff like that ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I think I think this is the art of medicine, is to understand when's the right piece of information or the right support at the right time. And so I think as we get better and more sophisticated as a delivery service, as a way of taking care of people, that we just get better at sort of understanding when's the right thing at the right time, and how do we connect with our patients, because that's really what medicine is about. It's about creating connections so that we can care well for the physical body while we do that. So.
Well, I had 3 beautiful baby boys and now 3 granddaughters who are growing up. It's just a beautiful season in life. But I miss those babies. I thoroughly enjoyed that period of time when you were rocking them, and I can get lost down a rabbit hole of the reels of the newborn babies. It just knows I love it, and I'll just watch that, and it is a precious time. And I envy the fact that you get to work with these young families, and as they're adding to the population here in Central Texas.
Yes, it's a sweet time. It's also a very challenging time.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Yeah.
it's, as all the good things in life, pretty much, you know, it's mixed with a little bit of, it's a little sweet and sour sometimes, right? And
Yeah.
so I think that this is, you know, supporting young parents and new mothers and expecting mothers. I think that support is so critical. Because we're not just making babies, we're making mothers, right?
Yeah.
We're making families. And so that's a big job. And you can't just do it alone. That's not feasible.
And
So-
normalizing that
Yeah.
it's not always a straight path from pregnancy to parenting, and that it's not always, you know, there are moments where it's hard and it's depressing and it's just, it feels lonely. Even when you have a room full of people around, it can feel really lonely. And so just, I think that's kind of our constant job, is recognizing all the ways that, like, when we embark on that journey, we have our hopes and expectations for what it is, and it may be exactly that, and we are excited to celebrate when it is, but we're here to walk with you through it if it's not that way.
And there are a lot of other local agencies that are here in Central Texas to help support as well.
Absolutely. We frequently partner with Community Doulas of Waco, who provide doula services. We work with the McLennan County Diaper Collective, who, you know, work earnestly to provide diapers for babies. We work with WIC through the health district to make sure moms have access to formula if that's a need. And so I think that's part of the things that I spend a lot of our time doing and supporting our clinicians, whether it's midwives, family physicians providing prenatal care, or obstetricians providing prenatal care, is to understand what else are our families needing. So it just continues to be sort of the joy of recognizing it's the whole family is really going to benefit from a mom who's bringing in a baby who's healthy, and how can we support her in anything that she needs? So,
Well, it's a great work you are doing, and I appreciate so much you taking some time to be with us to talk about Waco Family Medicine. What a beautiful facility. Oh, my goodness. It's so wonderful, and they are blessed to have you, Dr. Adesina, and Dr. Audrey Patterson. I love getting to spend some time with you. Thank you so much.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead. Don't go away.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Art Center Waco welcomed the In Her Element exhibit a few weeks ago, and it will be featured until October 31st with an artist talk with 2 out of 5 of the artists featured on October 9th. There are tons of beautiful pieces, so go check it out and support these women in the arts. Finally, if you haven't heard, a historic building that served as Waco's first H-E-B grocery store in the 1950s is being revitalized after sitting empty for years. Developer Peter Ellis is transforming the 40,000 square foot building on Austin Avenue into a Garden City grocery, which he describes as combining elements of Whole Foods and Trader Joe's with a hometown feel. I'm Elizabeth Riley with your Act Locally Waco news, and I'll see you next time.
Time to put me to sleep. Take this weight off my head. Fill up this space on the floor and think about what you said. There's no great calamity that waits for me. Just something you twist in my heart, and I know you can make me fall. 'Cause I just might get down on my knees, and I just might beg you please. But don't make me cry. You is the greatest killer. You know it took me in my sleep and waited by the window. And it dragged me in the street, and I never saw it coming. But I'm down here on the floor, you and your heart in my hand now, baby, and me begging you for more. You took away my worldly needs, and you cut me off until I bleed. But don't let me cry. There's nothing I want more than to make you a home. But this load is heavy, and my body is chilled to the bone. Hell, it never waits for a thing. It just takes what it needs. And you're the one that told me that broken hearts, they never bleed. I get down on one knee, and I just might beg you, please. Oh, don't make me cry. Yeah. Ooh, don't make me cry. Don't make me cry.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
Everybody at EcoLife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home. Homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Finding a sleep sack that my baby likes has been a struggle.
The sleep sack from Joy is a major upgrade.
It is all natural eucalyptus, which is breathable and hypoallergenic.
Natural Cycles identifies your fertile window by analyzing changes in your temperature. Just measure in the morning, add your temperature into the app, then learn which days you can and cannot get pregnant. It's that easy. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.